Oi! Who's got that going on in the background?
What the hell? This is fun. I'm not used to this level of expertise. Do you know what I mean?
This is awesome. Well, hello, YouTube. We're back. Andy is here. He's just
what a lot of shite.
Not here.
Honest to
hello,
God,
Andy.
guys, I hate StreamYard. I'm hating my life right now. I hate the Killer Comic Show. Peter, don't let me even start about you, son. I'm just in a bad form today. My camera isn't working, and
that's a blessing, but isn't it? That's a blessing for us, really.
True.
Yeah. So poor Andy lost his camera, and we've lost Charlie in general. Oh,
Charlie is just
somewhere in Spain, we believe.
Yeah.
Totally done one, mate.
Let's be honest.
Basically,
we were all on MJ Comics' channel watching his channel for the first 15 minutes, weren't we? Let's just tell the truth.
Charlie's still backstage on MJ waiting to get on.
Yeah. Christ on a break. What do we do now? Do we talk to the chat?
We normally talk to the chat. So if we go through the chat, let's see who's here, shall we, Andy?
Oh, right. Okay. That's my job. All right. Okay. I need to do that.
I don't have access to anything.
Yeah,
I'm afraid I can't help in any way, shape, or form. I can't bring up comments or anything. I'm basically just a sack of shit. I'm useless. So sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Okay. Dr. Von Hoot says, "Evening all. Hi, Doctor." James Copley is in the house. Yo. Batdan is saying howdy. How's it going? Oh, there was quite a few people here. Chris Bell is giving up gang signs.
A lot of people here that were here half an hour ago waiting.
I know it's quite sad, isn't it? It's Thursday. LFG. Woo! Evening all. And then I think there was like what I'm gathering from this is there was quite a lot of chat, and then they suddenly realised, wait a minute, it's 9 o'clock, guys. Why aren't we here? And then Not Quite Mint bounces in, says we've got a little bit of technical issues here. Peter lied. Apparently.
That was an hour ago.
Ed suggested there's a little bit of drama. Yeah, we may have all been kicking off backstage. Whose fault was it this time? Hashtag Andy's fault most of the time. Always blame Peter. Yeah, absolutely. For fuck's sake, Peter. Yeah, exactly. Wayne is saying it's like waiting for Christmas. Are you suggesting that Peter is Santa Claus with his big sack?
Suggesting that Peter likes to go down people's chimneys with his big old sack.
Yeah, what a massive sack. Massive.
Peter suggesting that it's not his time, or not his fault this time. Tom has given us a private dace.
Private dace.
Oh, there's nothing better than a good dace.
Yeah, I had to put my kit back on.
Chris is saying, has someone been using a Lebanese? Okay. Wow. Then there's lots and lots and lots and lots of chat until we get to the point that we're here and Ed still loves us. So, excellent.
But Andy, Chris's comment above there is the main comment of the night, because I missed that as well. Tom, the beard. What happened to the beard?
Yes, it is gone. Yeah. So basically, I went to trim my mustache and slipped, and the whole thing ended up coming off. No, I basically got a little bit fed up of the beard and spending money to get it trimmed and looking nice because I couldn't do it myself. So I wanted to save some cash so I can spend some money on plastic items and bits of paper.
Good stuff. Did you rehouse the birds that were living in the beard, or did they just fly off?
Well, yeah, luckily enough, I did. I took the whole thing as one, with birds and all, and popped it in the tree. And you'd be very shocked to know a couple of fledglings have now fledged from said beard.
Nice.
These have completely lost me, guys. But yes, what about my pickups? What am I going to do now? I can't.
How are we going to see your pickups? Yes.
Oh, god damn! And Fuzzy's in the house saying Andy's taking the face for radio comments to heart. I see not like him.
We can do this.
He's not wrong. Guys, thank you so much for your patience, for sticking with us. We know there's other things to watch, other things to listen to, and you've decided. Please stop phoning me, Tom. You don't need to phone me.
I'm trying to get you so I can put you on screen.
You're phoning me. Please don't. No, I'm naked. I mean, no, not tonight. Right. So what? God, this is shocking. So, guys, killer covers. Should we bounce into some killer covers? Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's do
why
it.
not?
Oh no, it's not that one I want. It's that one. Jesus.
Is this our first ever live stream? It feels like we've gone
You know,
back to
it might be the first, and I'm almost positive it's going to be my last again. I just realised that
YouTube.
Whenever Charlie does eventually arrive, can he like log himself? Who cares? Killer covers, September 18th. These are all the covers that come out this new comic book day, and we've changed things up a little bit, guys. We have listened to the people, and at least I've picked a normal, cover that costs £2 or £3 from Slab Crusaders, and I think we've all sort of suggested that we're going to make an effort to make sure that we don't pick like variants and exclusive covers that are largely unaffordable. We'll just leave that to Peter to pick up all the foil covers and stick it in his big
That's what we
box.
spoke about last week, isn't it? Because Peter, for the last few weeks on the trot, you've picked a standard A or B cover, which I just think is quite impressive. And then we spoke about it last week and how it'd be quite a cool feature to just do it, so the masses could buy the books that we're actually showing, rather than here's a 1 in 100. It's going to cost you £100.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, he did lose both those weeks.
Yeah. I mean, they were shit. Yeah. But,
look at eyes. There he is. Yes.
How are we doing? All right? Good?
Amazing.
And Andy's having a bit of a stroke, but apart from that, everything's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why the camera's off. You were just at the exciting bit just in time there, Charles. So we're hitting our killer covers, and we're just explaining to our adoring public that we are picking cover A, B's, and C's, just the normal covers, none of these exclusive nonsense. So with that in mind, Peter,
look at that, man. So this is a cover C. So yeah, I've never even heard of this. I just stumbled across this in the solicitations. This is Mark Spear's Monsters. Monsters being a trading card series, I believe, and this is going to be a comic version. There are some absolutely amazing covers for this. So it's if you're interested in this series, it's well worth checking out the other variant covers because there's some beautiful ones. I really like this one because it's an Infinity Gauntlet 1 homage, and it gets a good image of pretty much all of the monsters that you might want. So you've got Creature, you've got Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and the Phantom of the Opera, Dr. Jekyll. I just think it looks amazing. And I think the thing that jumped out at us most is I don't think I've seen this guy's artwork before, and it's pretty damn good. The imagery just jumps out at us. There's a really good other version of this, which is Dracula, and it's someone holding the cross. Do you know that classic Wolverine cover where he's got the reflection of Hulk in his claws?
Yeah.
Well, it's got Van Helsing reflected in the cross. It just looks amazing. So yeah, this jumped out at us as something different that I hadn't seen before, and I just think the art style is brilliant.
You know what,
it's a good Marvel book, isn't it?
It's not a great Marvel book.
And you know what? I don't know what it is, but it reminded me. You know the film Poltergeist, when he comes out of the TV, like his eyes look like they're just ready to pop out of the TV, like a horror film, and especially that one on the right hand side with the top hat.
Yeah,
freaky. Like, I love that. I think that's great.
So yeah, something a bit different.
I mean, it's okay, Peter. I know we were all up against it, having to pick like non-exclusive covers and ratios and stuff, but I feel as if you left this to the end, Peter, to be honest.
Yeah, I did. But that doesn't take away from the fact it's a sexy cover.
Yeah, I guess. Tom, what do you think? You like it?
I like it, to be fair. I like the fact that it's a homage cover. It is. I quite like how realistic it looks, which is pretty cool. But I mean, for a cover C, as one you could just pick up off the shelf, I think it's quite a nice pick. To be fair, I quite like it.
Okay, cool. We'll move on to your good self, Tom.
So I've gone for Ashley Witter's Dazzler issue 1. I really liked this cover. It really caught my eye, mainly because it's kind of a bit of a throwback to the 80s and a bit like Breakfast Club style kind of vibes it was giving me. I really like it. I just think it's quite different. I don't think I've seen an 80s style kind of variant like this, with the whole roller skates thing and the kind of the radio and stuff and the massive mobile phone. I just thought it was a really cool throwback. So yeah, that's what I picked, and I quite like the art style too. It's very J. Scott Campbell. I'm sure that would.
Yeah, I picked that up. Yeah.
Is this a homage to something? Because I feel like I've seen that as a movie poster or something before.
I think it is, mate. Yeah, but I couldn't for the life of me tell you what.
Yeah,
it is.
I'm not sure what it's off, but I know I've seen that kind of angle in a young lady.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Might be. Busty Brand has Bollock Bonanza. Might be.
One Night in Paris.
Wow.
So yeah, great cover.
I've given up, guys. I'm sorry. I've lost over here.
But you know what? Like the Dazzler covers, like I think a couple of weeks ago there was a Thor one where he was on the Rainbow Bridge and he was all dressed up to the nines.
Yeah.
And stuff. Some of them have been great, but some of them have been shocking. This one, I think, is pretty decent. But it's definitely, I've definitely seen the poster. If anyone in the chat knows where this is from, it's definitely a homage to something. But I've never heard of Ashley Witter before.
Have you not?
No.
He did an X-Men run, I believe, and he worked on I want to say Super Sons. I don't know off the top of my head.
It looks nice though. Like I do. I mean, are these Dazzlers, are they continuing? Are they just doing issue ones, or is it a whole? Is it a whole run?
Oh, it's an ongoing series, I believe. Dazzler.
Cool.
Next up, we have mine. We have Spirits of Vengeance issue number 1. I did get this correct this time. This is Marvel, and this is by Eric M. Geist variant. I love a good Ghost Rider cover, and Eric Geist is one of the best at realism in these covers, and also love the color work in this and just the feeling of movement in it. When you see the change, you can really see the chains are moving and stuff like that. So as I said, it was a reasonably difficult task to choose a cover when you didn't have the variants and things like that, but yeah, I think we're all done reasonably well, and this was my pick. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, I quite like this. I like what you said about the movement in the chains. I think that is probably the biggest highlight of this, because you've seen quite a lot of Ghost Rider covers of this, just his head, because obviously that's his kind of thing, isn't it? His flaming skull head. But the chains are what makes this, I think, because it makes it look like he's moving, which I think is excellent. It's just a really good use of the artwork, as it were. Cool pick, Andy.
There we go. Ashley Witter is a female, so I do apologise. I like this cover. I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I was just chuckling because I like Tom. I love Head. So yeah, I think it's a great cover.
We were doing before we came on the show.
It was. That's why we're late. Yeah. No, I think it's great, Andy. Do you know what? It's similar to other ones we've seen in the past, but you kind of beat a good Ghost Rider Flaming Skull cover. Do you know what I mean?
You can't beat a good head.
You can't, especially if it's hot. Do you know what I mean? Hot and fiery head. It's marvelous. No, I love it. I think it's a great cover, and I love the fact that you get the pendant stare going on there and all the rest of it. So yeah, great.
Beautiful. Charlie?
Catwoman number 68, cover C, Rose Besh variant. I've got a Harley Quinn I've got a penchant for, and I've also got a penchant for a Rose Besh. So when I see it was a Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Cat kind of mashup, had to go for it. I do like the fact that we're picking standard covers now, because it just goes to show the drop in standards sometimes from like a 1 in 25 or a variant or like a retail exclusive variant. You can kind of see what the average Joe can afford and has hands to be able to buy. I've gone for this. I quite like it. I do like my Rose Besh. I do like Rose Besh. I like the way that she does like quirky stuff. I'm not sure I like Harley Quinn's eyes on this because it looks very like Japanese manga style, but the rest of it, I think it would really, really pop if it was in a top load or a CGC.
I like this one. I nearly picked this one. This was definitely on my kind of top of the ones I was looking at to pick. I love a good rose breast variant, and I love the fact that this is a kind of one you can get your hands on, because they're normally a 1 in 25 or an exclusive. So really good pick, Charlie. I love her artwork. I actually would disagree with you. I quite like Harley's eyes because it makes her different to Catwoman. It makes her a little bit more kind of childlike, if that makes sense. Kind of that naivety that she's going to do something stupid because she's silly. I like that. It's cool.
I'd like
Cool
to know
cover.
what the symbols say, like even in the green squares. I'd love to know what they actually, because I'm sure they say something.
So what is that? Is that meant to be like post-it notes on a mirror? Is that what we're looking at? Or they're looking in a mirror and they're post-it notes or something?
Possibly, yeah. Could
Because
be.
they're like getting dressed, aren't they? So I kind of thought it's a mirror they're looking into, and that's what these random green things are.
Well, these random green things say Peter is totally overthinking this cover.
Guys, I'm not going to lie. I thought Charlie had picked this in the wrong segment. I thought this was My Eyes. In fact, when I looked at it, I had the same expression as the cat does at the bottom of that. I was like,
is that where your camera's not on?
I was like, what are you doing, Charles? Nice shirt, by the way, Charlie. You're looking.
Cheers, mate. I've literally this is business, Charlie. So it's ironic that we're at the business end of the show and I'm business Charlie.
Business Charlie. I quite like business Charlie. Very dapper.
Thank you very much.
I'm very turned on, Charlie. Not gonna lie. But I have to say I'm with Andy on this, and that's just because Rose isn't my style of art. But can I just say, what is exciting is this sexy new slide design. I'm liking the line across the bottom and the moving through sections. That's really cool. I like that.
Well, do you know what? I can't take all the credit for that. Obviously our sponsor, James at Slug Crusaders, he was kind of watching and he said, just as like a little brain idea, if there's new viewers jumping on and they kind of miss the start of the sections of the slides where it says killer covers, indie picks, trade paperbacks and stuff, it'd be good to just highlight what section we're on, which again, if you're watching, it will be highlighted in blue and it will also be as the chapters on the rewind. So if you're only interested in looking at killer covers and the reviews and stuff, you'll be able to go directly for it. So yeah, if it works, it works.
I've definitely felt short on that. When I've watched you guys when I wasn't on the show at the start of this year, I was watching you guys do indie picks and then go into killer trades, and then this year I've tried to pick a DC comic for an indie pick because I thought you guys had done it previously in the year. Because I'm an idiot.
But look, we're getting good comments. Had the chicken dinner and Charlie brings the winner for me. There we go, Ed Vic. Look.
Nice.
PayPal's on its way to you, mate. There we go. And he said, I'm on my own looking at the first votes. There we go. And then James has said, Rose Besh, Rian Gonzalez and Peach Momoka are my 3 fave cover artists right now.
Very similar styles, actually. Those three.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's all right. Andy, I can't believe you didn't like this. I thought you would have liked this, mate.
Not my cup of tea, Charlie. I'm sorry. Not my cup of tea. But
for all we know, Andy could be sat on the bog.
Yeah, he could be.
I wish I was, to be honest.
I like the mystery that Andy could be absolutely anywhere right now.
Yeah, Andy? I love the mystery. I love the mystery of my webcam not working. That's the mystery of the evening for me. So yeah, that's our cover picks. I can see that the vote is up on the YouTube.
Yeah, I just picked it a bit soon. Sorry.
Awesome. So we've got 16 votes, and so far, Peter, you are running in the lead with 62%. Charlie's got 6%. Tom, you've got 12%, and I have 19%. So make sure
Thanks,
you
Mom.
get your votes and activate those bots. Next up, my eyes. Andy's webcam's on. My eyes. I think we've only got one pick for my eyes, apart from that last pick from Charlie, but I think it's your good self, Peter.
Fucking look at this.
Shower of bastards, I tell you. Yeah. Do you know what? I struggled to find something that I didn't like this week. I have to be honest. And then it's not David Nakayama. But I spotted this in the.
It is.
It is.
It's
is it?
David
Oh, I
Nakayama.
thought
Yeah,
it was.
it is.
And it's also not this week. That's for next week. But I didn't. I literally couldn't be asked.
I'm old, and I'm slow. Do you know what I mean? So the art style for this, people will probably say, yeah, it's okay. For me, I'm still going back to the fact we're on issue 8 now, and he's still not shaved friggin' Tigra's tash, and it's irritating. It's
Say that again, please. He hasn't what?
Shaved Tigra's tash.
Oh,
And it just irritates the shit out of us because he just looks ridiculous. So it's not I have my eyes in terms of bad artwork, I guess. It's bad character design for me. This isn't what Tigra for me should look like.
This isn't a David Nakayama. This is actually Declan Shalvey. I'm just confusing you, Pete. It's Declan Nakayama. There we go.
I was going to say it's definitely David Nakayama. It's got his signature on it.
Look at the angles. Like, I just think Thundercats has been a hot shower of shit since it was released. And I've got to say, Andy called this from the start.
Mm-hmm.
Andy said you're going to get good covers, but the story's going to be absolutely shit. And it's literally just spiral. We've had shit covers and shit stories from the start. So this was just another cash cow that didn't do anything for anyone.
It just makes us, and I know I'm an old, miserable fart. It makes us sad that I was so excited for this relaunch. I thought we were going to get like a Transformers style relaunch, and it's just fallen flat in its arse for us. Which, for me personally, I'm sure some people love it. For me personally, it just winds us up. That it's a missed opportunity. And redesigning characters irritates us sometimes.
I do appreciate one thing in this cover, and it's the large blue whip with the 3 red balls at the end of it.
Yeah.
You love a whip with 3 red balls on.
Yeah.
It's look at the way that he's got the motion as well, and the speed of it. So you leave David Nakayama alone. He's a personal friend of this channel, Peter. Okay?
I feel for David because he's had to draw that tash. You know what I mean? I bet he was cursing himself as he was drawing it, thinking this isn't Tigra, this is bullshit. Peter Towns is right, this is shite. But he's had to draw it because he's contracted, isn't he? You know what I mean?
I've never been on a YouTube stream where there's been so much shit talk about someone's ankles.
That's mad, yeah.
I can't see my ankles, so I can't comment.
To be fair, I don't know anything about Thundercat, so maybe these are normal ankles for this character. He has lyre-filled ankles.
Little feet, little paws as well.
Little paws. There we go. I'm pretty sure it's meant to look like he's whipped with 3 red balls. There we go. Yeah, them 3 red balls, they look red raw. So yeah.
Should we just leave this alone and move on, guys, to the bread and butter of the show, the piece de resistance.
The reason everyone's come.
Jesus, it's sexy.
Week 38 review for the Killer Comics Show. We have Ain't No Grave issue number 5 and Time Waits issue number 1. First up, we have Ain't No Grave issue number 5. We'll get the main cover by George Acarona, and cover B is the 1 in 25 from Scottie Young. This is, of course, written by Scottie Young, and the artwork materials is by George Corona. So, is it fair to say that we've read every issue of this leading up to the 5th and final issue?
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say that
straight away.
I'm not even messing. Right, there's been 3 books. I think it's the Many Deaths of Layla Starr. There's Do a Powerbomb, and there's this. This for me is the best book I've read in 2024.
Wow.
It was amazing, I think, on every single level. I didn't think there was going to be a story that would come out and Scottie Young would do the writing and I'd be like, I wish he was doing the artwork for it. George Corona is obviously working with Daniel Warren Johnson on Transformers, and he's doing an amazing job. He's doing it with Scottie Young on this. There's nothing negative I can say about this book. This is full of emotion. It's full of amazing artwork, amazing dialogue. Even in issue number 4, where there was 4 words on the last page, this strikes every single chord in a way that I didn't think was possible other than in Do a Powerbomb. And I think this is amazing. I think this is absolutely awesome. If you haven't read it already, please head out and read it. Pick up the trade paperback when it comes out, because you will be pleasantly surprised. This is incredible. I'm done.
Nice.
you like it?
So tell us what you really thought. I am going to 100% agree on this one. I think Ain't No Grave from issue number 1 to 5 has been, for me, it's been perfect. And I don't say that about many books. I think overall it's kind of been a story of reflection.
Mhm.
I had commented to you guys that each of the names of the issues are the 5 steps in the grieving process, and it
Yeah.
only dawned on me in issue number 5 that was the case. I think, you know, for Ryder, like, Death's ultimate value was providing Ryder with a bit of perspective. And you know, when you've got impending death like Ryder did, it kind of makes you reflect on what you have, and you know, she's been sort of reflecting on what she's grateful for, and we've seen sort of flashbacks of that in the issue. And I think for me, what I got from this is that she kind of finally gains a little bit of humanity for a life of killing people and doing things wrong in the world. She finally finds a little bit of humanity in the very end of this book. And the thing that really got me at the end of this is when she says, you know, have no regrets. It was worth a shot. And I think that's ultimately, you know, if life's a process, Scottie Young's kind of taken us on that sort of journey with Ryder to give an insight into what really matters in the chaos that we call life. And I just think it was a real lovely book of reflection, and one that I could go back to time after time.
I agree with you, mate. I think literally, that's what I was going to say. The whole idea of like reflection and that bit at the end where it's like, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained, sort of thing. I live by that that mantle. So to see that at the end of the book, after watching all she went through to just try and get an extra couple of minutes with her family, was insane. Also, I loved that Death wasn't portrayed as a bad person in this. Because it's kind of like, okay, Ryder, you've come here now. Like, you want this extra bit of time. Why should I give you this amount of time? Look at all these people that your carnage has affected. Not only the people you actually shot, but the people that then affected.
Yeah.
So it's that whole kind of like every action has a reaction, which I loved about it. And like you said, Andy, that whole thing across all 5 books being the 5 stages of grief. I hadn't even picked that up until you mentioned it. And I was like, that is insane. I mean, how well written this book has been. I mean, even like issue 4 we've discussed before, like where there's absolutely no dialogue other than a few words at the end, was a masterpiece. I just think this is definitely by far the best book that's come out this year, and I will be definitely picking this up as a trade paperback. It was just beautiful from start to finish. Really, really pleased that we picked it right from the get-go, which I think might have been your choice, Charlie. I think you picked it to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, mate.
Yeah.
Well, so I didn't love it as much as you guys. I have to be honest. We read the first issue when it first came out. The first issue didn't do anything for me, I have to say. So I left it, and I didn't read any of the further issues until this week when we had to go back and I had to reread the entire thing, basically. It is very strong. It's got some great themes to it. I think a couple of the issues didn't necessarily blow me away, but it saves itself on that last issue. I thought the last issue was phenomenal, to be honest. It was one of my favorite reads of a long, long time. A couple of things. I like the artwork. Things that I really, really enjoyed about it. You guys know that by trade, I'm a cancer nurse. So the theme of this book really struck a chord with me in terms of quite often giving people that horrific choice. Do you spend your last days with the people you love, or do you risk it all and go for a longer commitment or a longer cure, as it were, but with the knowledge that actually that might just hasten the end? And that's exactly what she's done. She's chosen to go for the attempt at longevity and sacrificed spending time with her family at the end instead. And I thought it was really good the way they didn't shy away from that at the end point, you know. And for me, it was a lovely story in terms of we quite often fall in love with the anti-hero and the bad people and all the rest of it. This didn't shy away from that at all. It basically said at the end, hang on, you're a frigging killer. You've murdered people. Look at all these people that have died and the effects of that, not just because you put a bullet through their head, you've killed the family because of the connections and stuff. And actually, you know what? Tough shit. You know, you're not getting your happy ever after and all the rest of it. And I thought, actually, for a moral story, that's really good to see in many ways.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, it's great. I did enjoy it. I don't think I loved it as much as you guys. Had the last issue not absolutely blown us away, I would have probably been saying, no, it's okay, but it's not for me. But the last issue saved the book for me personally.
Yeah, I honestly, I think, and where I'm reading Middle West as well at the moment, I'm working my way through the compendium of that. The artwork again is done by George Corona. So I think, without knowing it, I've become such a fan of his work because his art is amazing. His art is really, really good. And I think there was a lot of talk, and I was massively one of them, that was like, oh, George Corona taking over from Daniel Warren Johnson doing the artwork and Transformers. I can't really see me enjoying that. I'm glad he's done it because he's done fantastic. And this for me, like, honestly, the end panel, which I purposely didn't show because I didn't want to give it away, it's just that moment where she thinks, shit, I've made the wrong choice and there's literally no way back from it. But I was kind of, I didn't think it was bad of Death to do that. I was kind of like, I didn't even see it coming though. That's how engrossed I was in it. I didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to be happily ever after, but it wasn't. But it's just an awesome book. Like, I really, really do think it was. But then I also liked the one he did in the dark.
The Me, You Live
Oh,
in the
You,
Dark.
Me in the Dark.
Yeah,
What a series.
See, I thought that was great as well. I think it was just, but this for me really, really struck a chord. Like, and that panel on the left-hand side is where all the ghosts, I was like, yeah, that's it. As you said, Tom, every action had a reaction, and it wasn't just it wasn't just the people that she killed. It was the families of the people that she killed that had a reaction to what she'd done. And I just felt sorry for her daughter in the end, her daughter and her husband. Instead of her spending her last moments with them, she wanted to go off and try and seek out the unseekable and try and prolong like the longevity of her life that weren't going to happen. And it was just a means to an end. But yeah, I thought it was great.
It was phenomenal.
So you're wrong, Peter. How dare you?
Yes. I said I liked it. I said I liked it.
Exactly.
I didn't like it as much as you guys, but I did like it. I would read it again, put it that way.
That's Scottie Young's writing and David Nakayama's artwork that you've trashed this evening, Peter. I think that's what I've gathered from the last half an hour. So, guys, that was Ain't No Grave issue number 5. I would highly recommend that you go and pick up the trade paperback whenever it is available. Next up, we have Time Waits issue number 1. This is from Distillery, written by Chip Zdarsky and is it Danny Brothers? Yep. And Marcus Toe. It does the artwork. We've got the main cover by Marcus. We've got Sean Phillips doing the variant. Chip also went in with a variant, which is actually my favourite, and the 1 in 50 Matt Taylor variant as well. Guys, I think this was the one that I picked in the indie picks, so I'll maybe kick off. So for me, love Distillery books. You pay a premium for them, but you definitely get what you pay for when it comes to the quality of the books. This particular book, the sort of premise is sort of built upon, that familiar story of a former kind of a man of violence that's kind of walked away from that life, only to be sort of dragged back into it to make sense of his past. And then he catches up with someone that he knew in his past, and he's using time travel, and he bounces back and forwards. And I was confused, boys. I didn't know what was going to happen at some of the points. It didn't make it really clear to me. If it wasn't for the change in the colour palette, I wouldn't have known if we were still in the same storyline each time that it bounced back and forward. And I get that that's, ironic given that this is a time travel book, but I found that quite hard to follow. I think overall this book was a clear setup issue. It was just centered around the day-to-day life of the 3 main characters, or 4 if you include the guy that was the baker and baking the cake with the main character. And it was just pure character setup for me, just a day in the life of these characters. And you get little little sights of what this guy had went through, but you don't fully understand why it's happening or what it's happening. So for me, at the end of it, I just had a lot more questions. Would it make me read issue number 2? I think unless it was picked, I probably wouldn't, if I'm honest with you. But if one of you guys had picked this, I probably would. I just found it really difficult to follow. I don't know about you guys.
See, I enjoyed the art and the storytelling of this, but I did kind of get lost. I think it's the character Blue, who was kind of at the forefront of this. He was kind of, I enjoyed him, and I kind of liked where he was coming from, and like how you find out about like his struggles and everything. But I just think it was the flashbacks. Like I went in totally blind with this comic. I didn't know anything about it, and I was kind of like, all right, let me see about it. I don't know if. I think I'm the same as Andy. Unless someone picks this up or it wins the vote, I can't see me reading this. I found the flashbacks, yeah, they were good in times, but I think there was just too many of them. And in the end, I was just like, I don't know what's going on, and I lost interest. And it was just another one of them flicking through. How many pages have I got left? Yeah, as I said, the artwork was pretty good. I think there was a decent amount of action in it, but I don't think I'll be picking it up again.
For me, just before I say what I think, Fuzzy's just messaged to say he's trying to put messages in the chat, but nothing's coming up for some reason. Is there anybody else that's gotten the same issue? If you have, drop her an Instagram message. We might have to look at what settings. He's mentioned this before, that for some reason his messages don't seem to be being displayed, which is odd.
Who's blocked Fuzzy again?
Yeah. So I'm so pleased you guys have said that, because I thought I was going to come on here and be a right miserable prick all night. This bored the teeth out of me to start with. For a change, yeah, thank you, Tom. I mean, I got I think it was 5 pages in, and it was like we'd had a conversation about chimichurris or whatever you call them. We'd had a conversation about burgers. We had a conversation about making a cake and how you. And I thought, what the fuck am I reading? What is this all about? It's just, and I didn't find it confusing. I just found it pretty dull and very, very mediocre, if I'm honest. It picks up a bit at the end. You get a bit of action and stuff, which I started to enjoy a little bit more. Like you guys say, was that enough to make us want to read on? I have to be honest, guys, for the price point of these books, no, probably not, because these aren't cheap reads. Do you know what I mean? Because of the quality paper and all the rest of it. I'm not willing to put money into a book that it's just okay, and that's what this was for me, just okay.
I would 100% agree with all of you. I think, unfortunately, I think if this was a TV show and this was a TV pilot, this wouldn't be getting a second.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. I thought the premise behind it is great. This guy's come from a different time. He's decided to stay where he is. He's protecting the people. And then there's obviously this bad guy in a different timeline or whatever. And that's all going to come to fruition at some point. But I thought the in between the action scenes and actually getting to the point or a plot was so far between and long-winded that I lost interest very early on. And like Charlie said, I did that whole thing where 6 pages in, I'm then flicking to get to the end, and I'm skipping bits of reading. So I'm pretty sure I've probably missed half the plot because I've not read it. Just because I flicked to a point where I was like, okay, cool, it seems like it's kicking off now. But then I'd also agree with Andy that because of the timeline situation, it wasn't like, I'm not comfortable with those kind of things anyway in comic books, because I think if they're not done correctly, lead you up to it. Like someone says, oh, back in the day, this happened, or, it kind of filters into it. If it just suddenly happens, it's a little bit like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where are we? What's happening? It did get very confusing. So I would 100% agree with all of you that if this doesn't get picked, which I don't think it will now, I definitely won't be reading issue 2. Like Peter said, it's too expensive to bang money on to read issue 2 if it's not something I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Disappointing, that one, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of us had hype for and hope for Distillery, obviously.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
When Comixology finished and it was all kind of looking that way. I think with the fact that it's not readily available digitally, I think a lot of people have thought, fuck that. I wish Do you know what I mean? Because the way that the world's moving, if you live in the middle of nowhere and you haven't got an LCS, how are you meant to read this? Like, what, you've got to wait 2 or 3 weeks for it to be delivered and stuff. It's kind of, there's ways and means of doing things. And I know, Andy, you're massively like, I think I've got 2 or 3 distillery books, and you do get your money's worth because they are oversized. They do look nice. But the 2 that I've got was Gone and the first issue of Somna. But again, I haven't picked up any other issues.
No.
So I think it's just the fact that, yeah, it's a good comic. It was a bit convoluted at times. I don't really get it. I don't think it's going to be great. I don't know if anyone else in the chat has read it, but I don't think it's going to do anything massively and break records and stuff like that. It's okay. It's nothing special. I mean, it's 46 issues, 46 pages. I was kind of like...
Am I right in saying that it's only 3 issues or 4 issues?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Which to me isn't that a bit of a waste? Because your first issue should be the one that hooks people in, so then they'll buy the next 2. If you're not hooking people in on 1 issue and you've only got 3, that doesn't bode well for 2 and 3, does it? Yeah.
So I've got a question for like you 3. If you read a comic that's had so much hype and you're like, oh, okay, fair enough, it's got some hype behind it, I'll read it and it's shit. What would entice you to read the second issue? Would it be the artwork? Would it be the writer that's actually doing it? Would it be the cover? Would it be the reviews that you've heard? Because there's got to be something that's enticing these readers, because I honestly think the writers that are looking at this thinking, it's not my best work. Is it going to get the traction? Do you know what I mean? Because for me, like, for instance, we've gone from reading Ain't No Grave, which is up there, amazing, like singing all its plaudits, and then we kind of fucking fall back down to earth and read this and we're like, really? Like, it's such a, obviously there's so many different tastes within comics of like what people like and what people want to read and what people want to see in the artwork and stuff. But for me, sometimes I'm just like, I've read one amazing comic and I go to read this and I think, what am I doing? Like 46 pages of this. I've gone from reading absolutely amazing stuff to this. It just doesn't, it pisses me off.
I agree. And it's also the time that it takes to read something like this. You think that was a waste
of time.
Yeah, exactly. But then, you know, we read these 2 reviews come on the show, and then sometimes you don't get enough time to get on it to read it. So you kind of end up reading it at night, late at night. So when you read something that's crap, you're like, oh, I could have just not read this and just sat on the show and not read it.
Yeah.
But in answer to your question, for me, I wait until somebody else has read it and then I'll get their opinion on the rest of the issues. And I think that happened to me a few years ago, I want to say. I think Andy recommended a book. We read issue 1. I didn't like it, but he did. And then I didn't read issue 2, 3, and 4. And then he texted me saying, you kind of need to finish it. So I ended up reading it, and it ended up being a really, really good book. But I can't for the life of me remember which book it is. Andy might be able to help with that, but I can't remember.
Peter?
I think for me, quite often what I do is if I read the first issue and I'm disappointed, I'll just forget it until the trade comes out and I'll hear what the buzz is about the complete story. I like a complete story. Do you know what I mean? And if the overall story is worth a read, then I'll go back and reread it, rather, because you quite often, we're all, you know, we're coming up from different angles and stuff, but you quite often get individual issues that are a bit lackluster. And maybe you've just picked the bad one to read. So I like to look at the story as a whole, I guess. If it's getting good buzz, I'll probably pick it up. If people have dropped off, then I'll just leave it.
Yeah. I think Andy's had to shoot off. But it'd be interesting to see his thoughts when he comes back. So we've gone from reading absolutely amazing stuff to reading this, and time waits, but time continue waiting because I'm not picking this up again. No, thank you. So you can stick your $7.99.
Up your Jaxie.
Up your Jaxie. There we go. So moving swiftly on, 45 minutes in, and we are at the killer indie picks. These are coming out next week, September 25th. Up first is... Had to go for this. Universal Monsters Frankenstein issue number 2. The first issue was amazing. I think for me, this has been the best Universal Monsters one. We've had, We've had Dracula, We've had
Creature
Creature from the Black Lagoon, and we've had this. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how this continues, because it ended on a pretty good little kid getting kidnapped. Yeah, we'll turn you into something, and it was quite harrowing. Michael Walsh is obviously the writer and artist for The Silver Coin, so we know how much harrowing stuff he can do and how much he can put in a book. This, for me, is up there, and as Von Hoot has said, Frankenstein can have all my money. Yes, indeed. So I'm up for that.
Did you get the Scotty Young variant of this, Charlie?
Yes.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Nice. It is a really cool cover. Let's be fair.
Yes, I can thank Andy for that one. So, Andy, are you back in the room now?
I am indeed. Sorry about that, boys. Yeah. So yeah, they'll put my stack rate. So I'm just waiting for my stack rate to sort of fill up a bit before they get those sent over.
Yes, but yeah, that looks wicked, and I think it was only right that we invested some money picking that up. But I'm looking forward to this, like massively looking forward to this. And is it only 3 issues?
No, I thought it was 5 for some reason.
Yeah, at least 5. Yeah.
Nice. So, but Dr. Von Hoot has said, can't wait for this, but the thought of an equally good Wolfman has me from 6 to midnight. Indeed. Yes, indeed. And yes, Ed, we are 45 minutes in, and you're not even saw yet. There we go.
Wow.
Wow.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Yes, so I've gone for Master of the Universe, Turtles of Grayskull, actually. This is basically another crossover like they did with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman. It's the same creative team minus James Tynion. He was part of the original creative team, but this is just Tim Seeley this time on his own with Freddie Williams III. So it should be quite a fun one. They don't necessarily take themselves too seriously, so I'm quite excited to read this. It's definitely on my radar. I love the idea of seeing Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo all kitted up in the Master of the Universe gear. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I see this and I was like, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. I don't know. I mean, I can see Pete shaking his head up the top there.
I mean, I love a bit of Masters of the Universe. Mikey with the blonde wigs just turning us off.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
And do you know what my problem is? I mean, I've got lots, but my issue is it's so long since I've read a good Masters of the Universe comic. I just kind of keep feeling a bit let down by them. And I'm not sure this is where I want it to go, if that makes sense.
Oh, but Tim Seeley's such a good writer.
He is. I know he is. Yeah, I'll give it a go. I will give it a go and see what it's like.
Do it.
I do like udon noodles.
Udon noodles. It's actually Dark Horse.
For God's sake. We had one
and
job.
It's Turtles of Grayskull, not Masters of the Universe.
Why is there an udon noodles symbol? I've just noticed that. You muted.
You're on mute, Charlie. You're on mute, Charlie.
You're on mute, Charles.
Sorry. Udon got undone, and it's actually Masters of the Universe, Turtles of Grayskull. So I'm half right. So, but yeah, I do apologise for the fuck up. Up next.
So confused.
This is me. Plastics, Death and Dolls, issue number 4. Fuzzy of the Dunlop got us onto this series, and it's just mental, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's about a serial killer, basically. It's been really, really cool so far. And this is, I think, the final issue, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this. It's a great little read. If you've not read any of the Plastic series, I recommend you pick it up. It's a bit like Dexter, just even worse, just craziness. So yeah, well worth a read.
Yeah, I swear I drew a picture, or I was in the middle of drawing a picture on my iPad of, I think it's a similar story. There was a killer that was going round, and he was like an old man guy, and he was killing. And it's I swear it's from the same people that wrote this.
It is. Yeah, that's the first volume.
Ah, right.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking for. I think I've read issue number 1 of this. Have I? I think it's even issue number 1 or 2 I've read of this. It's more fucked up than I thought it was going to be, but it's very, very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah. Then we have.
Ooh, this is mine. I went for The Missionary, issue number 1. Ryan Stegman, Jason Howard doing artwork, and this is another distillery book. I just can't help myself, to be honest with you. I always want to read issue 1 just to see if they're any good or not. So I think this is going to be a good read. But I did say that about the last one, so I'm just going to shut up now, boys. What do you think?
So
if you haven't seen it, there's an absolutely stunning Scotty Young cover for this.
Yes, I've got it on order.
Yeah, I think I have too. I think it was actually my FOC pick a few weeks back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Ryan Stegman, I'm looking forward to seeing what he can write, because obviously we know he's a good artist. So to seeing him writing this will be pretty interesting. So yeah, another distillery though. Is it going to be worth the 15 quid that you have to pay for it?
We'll soon find out.
We will soon find out. We can ask Andy that when he buys it. So up now we have the Killer Trades and hardcovers. This is again for September the 25th. Up first, I have gone for the Revival Compendium. Yes, this this caught my eye at the beginning of the week. It says a beautiful farm noir that puts a twist on the zombie genre, now collected for the first time in one complete paperback volume. The sellout hit series created by New York Times best-selling author Tim Seeley again, and Eisner Award-winning Mike Norton is collected in the Image Compendium featuring Revival 1 to 47, the free comic book day short story, a crossover with Chew, a Jenny Frisson cover gallery, which is very, very attractive, plus many behind-the-scenes bonuses and other features. When I see that it said a Jenny Frisson picture thing, I was very much like, I'm going to pick that up. This is awesome. I hadn't heard of it before. Andy, I don't know if you've read this. Andy?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, Revival's amazing. I think the first 10, 11 issues were done covers by Jenny Frisson back in the day. So I highly recommend it. Yeah.
Did you say crossover with Chew?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that one because I love Chew, but I don't think I've seen a crossover.
Yeah, it's the crossover with Chew. So yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, I mean, look at that cover. It just looks awesome. Yeah. And the compendium, that's going to be a juicy book as well. So yes, looking forward to that.
Chunky.
Up next, Tom.
Oh yeah, so I obviously people must probably know this already, that I tend to collect the Art of Marvel Studio books because I enjoy seeing all the concepts for how they designed everything, why they designed things in certain ways, where they've created the characters designs, all the kind of all the bits basically. So this week we get the Marvel Studios Art of the Marvels. So this one I'm really looking forward to because it'd be the first one of the movie ones they've done for a little while now. So I'm excited to pick this one up and get it on the old shelf. Is anyone else interested in the Art of books, or is it just me that's obsessed with them?
I think we've mentioned this before. I think Forbidden Planet do a good selection of them. So yeah, I kind of pick them up when I can. I think the last one I picked up was the DC one. So yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be any good because I haven't even seen the film yet.
The film
I didn't mind the film. It got slated the film, but I thought it was entertaining.
I think a lot of the more recent Marvel movies since Endgame, I would say, have had too much to live up to. I would say, and then they do fall a little bit short, but they are good movies you can watch on a Sunday afternoon, which is what movies are all about, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pete, just touching quickly on, that character I was telling you about that I was drawing. That's the one. Is that in?
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Yeah.
That's the one. So yeah, I mean, Plastic's wicked, and I think he's in it. But it's a really, really good story. So sorry about that segue. So yeah, carry on.
No, all done, mate.
Coolio. So there's that, and then of course,
I'm in a bit of a garbage pail kids kick at the moment. I recently bought a pack of sealed cards and opened them up, and it's just got us back in me youth. So this is the Garbage Pail Kids Origins hardcover, and it basically goes back and tells the story of how a lot of these characters came to be. I'm sucker for nostalgia stuff, as you know. So, and I've missed this series. I didn't read this as a series. I know they've done all kinds of Garbage Pail Kid comics over the last year or two, including a crossover with Madballs. But I like the idea of an origin tale. So yeah, I'll definitely be picking this one up.
I must be the only one that doesn't really know much about the Garbage Pail Kids.
I haven't got a clue.
There's not a lot to know other than back in the day it was a collectible card, sticker set that you used to get, like your Thundercat stickers, your Transformer stickers, and it was basically brought out around the same time as Cabbage Patch Kids, the dolls. And it was kind of like an anti-version of them, but the imagery on the cards was horrific, and there was all kinds of hoo-ha about them and saying how, they were corrupting children and all kinds of stuff. It got a movie made, which was utter dog shit. And they had, I think, about 8 or 9 different series of the stickers, and it's had a bit of a revival over the recent years. Just great imagery, great characters.
And if you haven't checked it out yet, check out Peter's video on the little package tear, the unboxing of his new cards. There's some good cards in there though. Like the art, you can't knock the artwork.
The artwork's stunning in them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and very near the knuckle with some of them as well.
Yeah, very, very close to the bone. So so there's that Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, look at that cover, like just mind blown. It reminds me of little I don't know. It comes
to James Boyd.
Yeah.
James Boyd and his digestive biscuit. Yeah, that's a comic book, that is. James Boyd and his digestive biscuit. So,
I'm a tops artist.
So, with that said, it's the Fox. Oh no, it's not. It's you. Who's having this?
That's me. This is the Infernos trade paperback has finally arrived. This collects issues number 1 to 5. You're getting a good 160 pages for about $10, which is great. And we love this book, so highly recommend it.
Yeah, I don't remember reading issue number 5, so I'm looking forward to picking this up and just reading it all through, because I think this was another one that came out and we read up to issue 3, and then I think because it didn't get picked for the vote, it slipped off, which seems to be a lot that happens with this show. If we don't read it, I don't continue reading it because I'm like, totally forgot about it. So I'm pretty much the same with Pete sometimes. If I fall off of it, I'll wait for it to come out in a trade paperback, and then I'll happily pick up and read it. But I know this was shit hot for the first 3 or 4 issues.
Brilliant.
So did you keep up with it, Andy?
Yeah, read it all. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Nice. So definitely picking up. And I like the fact that we do this part of the show, because I'm kind of like, forgot about that. Looking forward to picking it up. Totally forgot about that. So
I remember you guys reading the first issue. I wasn't on the show at the time. But yeah, I remember it being, you guys talking really high of it. And I like Ryan Parrott as a writer, so I might pick this up.
There we go. DVH has said, just check, Frankenstein is 4 issues. Only 4 issues. Interesting. And he said, they are some hot-ass, badass stickers. They were awesome back in the schoolyard days. There we go, Pete. So some of them you can get some shinies and trade them up. And maybe you can trade some Conkers while you're at it, because we're coming into the autumnal season. Yes. There we go.
It's not touching my Conkers, I tell you.
Yeah, why does it do this on every single slide we put up? This is the final order cut-off. It's ironic that it says cut-off because it's cut off the fucking logo. Great. Look at that. So this is the final order cut-off top 4. This is when we are sponsored by Slab Crusaders, and we say the same thing every single week. James runs an awesome company. We shop from that awesome company. We want to shout about this awesome company. And if you're not shopping with the awesome company, you should be. Follow his Facebook page, get some good deals, get some good comics, and you can be part of the final order cut-off crew Facebook appreciation Slab Crusaders page. Enough said. Up first, it's me. Incredible Hulk, issue number 18 by Marvel, Ryan Brown, absolutely fantastic. I follow him on Facebook. He showed the different stages of him doing this with oil painting. It's absolutely bloody amazing. Definitely picking this up. Haven't been reading the story, but it's got to be done.
The stunning cover, that I like that.
Awesome, isn't it? Wicked.
It is pretty cool. It's just bottom lip's weirding me out a little bit.
The colour of it.
But it's cool. It's such a cool comic.
What do you reckon?
I think this is. I'd love Ryan Brown stuff.
Yeah.
I was into his Judge Dredd stuff that he'd done before he sort of started doing cover art, and it's from this neck of the woods, so even more reason to pick up his stuff.
Boom. And we've got. Look at this.
I picked Vicarious issue number 1, Boom Studios, the Dan Panosian cover, which is absolutely stunning. I'm going to throw it out here. Dan Panosian for cover artist of the year.
100%.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stuff he's brought out is absolutely amazing. But yeah, besides this, the cover looks fantastic. I didn't copy and paste the little bit of blurb on it, but it did sound really interesting. And it's at Boom Studios issue number 1, so I'm going to give this a go and see what it's like.
Bish, bash, bosh. Love that.
I've gone for Spawn Violator issue 2 by Carl Holtz, the main cover. I just quite like the idea of this cover, this Viking style Spawn. Also, the story's been pretty good so far, so I'm interested in reading the second issue where the Violator has now been kind of banished to Earth and he's got to fight the Viking Spawn. Obviously, it's not going to go in Spawn's way because Violator does kill a lot of Spawns in the story. But yeah, should be quite an interesting one to read, so I thought I'd go for that this week.
Again, I've never really got into Spawn, but there's some good stories out there. I think I might just need to tap into your head, Tom, and find out which one is the best one to jump on.
You can tap into my head any day, Gorgeous.
There we go. DVH. Because I liked it, I ordered 4 awesome 9/8s from Slow Crusaders last night. Well, do tell. What did you end up getting? Because I'll tell you what, like I was like a kid at Christmas when my parcel arrived last week. Going to go into a bit of a segue now. If you haven't checked out my special deliveries from Slab Crusaders, head over, watch the video, and give it a cheeky little thumbs up because we've got some good stuff. But yeah, that's the 4 covers, 4 comics from Slab Crusaders. There's plenty more over on the website. You can just do the cheat code and you can scan the QR code. It'll take you over there and you can go from that.
Permission for lip with it?
What's that?
Have we done Peters?
No. Just ignore me. It's like I'm not here.
I'm not ignoring you. I'm just like selling the segue before we go on to this gorgeous.
Oh, right, okay. I've gone for Epitaphs from the Abyss, issue number 4. Now, you guys talked a little bit about this last week when I couldn't make the show. This is a phenomenal little series. It's a kind of imagine of the old EC horror comics. There's a sci-fi version as well out, but I'm particularly loving this. It's a horror series where each issue's got, say, 4 individual tales introduced by a kind of a gravedigger character. Like most of these kind of books, it ranges in terms of the quality of the stories, but normally you'll find at least 2 or 3 of the stories that you really enjoy. I've loved every issue so far, and there's always been something to put a smile on my face. So yeah, really, if you like your horror stuff, really do recommend you check this out because it's a great little series.
Awesome. No, yeah, I think there's so many of them out. It seems to be there's like 1 or 2 coming out every couple of weeks. I'd like to read it as a trade paperback or a compendium, with them all in together, because I think, and it'd be great if they. Do you remember it was Tales from the Crypt? Like every single week there used to be a different story. Yeah, it'd be awesome if this just reminds me of Bravo. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean?
Did you see that Ice Cream Man's being optioned apparently? So they're talking about making a series for that. So you'll get that kind of, and I'd imagine that'll be exactly that kind of Tales from the Crypt type story with the Ice Cream Man introducing each tale each week. So that'll be great.
But do you remember, like, stuff like this? Like, it used to be, you kind of used to, like, let me put it, you used to kind of wait to see what would happen in these horror books on the TV show, and it used to be like waiting up, watching Channel 4 Eurotrash with the hope that you was going to see a nipple, and then you end up seeing some fucking French guy spraying aftershave on his chest, and you're just like, wow.
Still managed.
I remember them days.
Exactly. But yeah, these do look pretty good. DVH has said he got Moon is Following Us, issue number 2, the DWJ cover.
Cool.
He got the Catwoman 69 Frank Cho, and 2 times he got that times 2, and the Greaser Gemini Blues issue 3 cover B. It has an owl on it, of course. So yeah, so some good covers. The Moon is Following Us is, I think, as
it's going to be a contender.
Yeah. I think it is, and James from Slab Crusaders said if every single person that ordered it, they would be entered in for the 1 in 25 ratio. So it'd be interesting to see who wins that. But yeah, that's the. Is it okay to move on now, Pete? Or have you got any other hidden agenda?
No, absolutely.
Coolio. So we are now at the Killer Comic Show sneak peek for next week. As you know by now, these are the 4 comics that we pick. We will put over on the community tab if dipshit here, pointing to me, remembers. Sometimes I don't. Most of the time I don't, but I will this week. They're 4 comics we pick. We get the vote. We did try doing it if someone wanted in the chat wanted us to review a comic. It died a slow death, so we didn't do it again. Up first, Tom.
Yeah, so I've gone for said book we were just talking about. The Moon is Following Us. That is my choice. It's by Daniel Warren Johnson, artwork by him as well, colours by Mark Spicer. The dream team are back together. So yeah, I kind of want to read this one. So, and actually, I already have. So yeah, I think we should all read it. Well, I'm not going to even say anything. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay. I have gone for, based on the back of the Oracle, aka Perpetual Comics' indie pick last week, I have gone for The Body Trade. Reading the synopsis of this, just quickly, it says Kim Krillick is a divorced ex-con who's trying to atone. However, his short temper tends to get the best of him. When he returns to Florida to bury his estranged son, he's sickened to find an empty grave. That sounds awesome. I'm very, very much looking forward to reading that. So hopefully Andy has steered us in the right direction once again, and that will be an awesome comics read. And it's Mad Cave Comics, so hopefully they can get back on track, because they had a couple of whoopsies a couple of weeks ago. So yes.
So that's my pick from last week. My pick for this week was Monsters. So the book I talked about earlier on today. Excuse me. Synopsis says, all new horror series, Monsters, based on the hit trading card series of the same name, bringing the classic monsters to life with a modern twist. Set in the early 1980s, a retired monster slayer with a forgotten era learns that his old friend had disappeared, and a malevolent, I can't say it. Malevolent, we'll say it.
Malevolent.
That's the one. Yeah. Force from his past has resurfaced. So yeah, Monsters was my pick.
That sounds good. And Andy.
Sorry, Peter, that was my fault.
No problem.
No, actually, it wasn't.
One job.
You can't take credit for that, Andy. That was me, and it was also mine. Was his first one as well, where it said Marvel, and it shouldn't have said it was mine. I hold my hands up. It was me.
I only accept apologies in a written format, please, Charlie. So if you could draft something and send it to us, that would be great. Thank you.
Here we go. Afro SF. Greetings, guys. I'm new here. Do you focus on independent comics on this channel? Yes, we do. And if you head over to section, where is it? Section, let's have a go. This is working well, isn't it? If you head over there to section 15, you'll find the indie picks. You can head over there, and it will also be broken down on the chapters on YouTube. So yeah, if you want to drop us a message on Instagram or on here, we will be happily obliged to point you in the right direction of what comics we will be reviewing. And if you want to send us a comic to review, you can jump on that. But yes, thank you very much for welcome, and yeah, thank you very much for joining, and yeah, welcome. So nice. Right, going back. Sorry, Andy. Sorry to cut you off, mate. You was.
Sorry, mate. No worries. I went for the Tin Can Society issue #1. This is from a company called Giant Generator, which I'd never heard of before. The synopsis reads: Johnny Moore is a world-famous tech mogul, known as much for his work pioneering mobility aids for people with disabilities, like himself, as he is for moonlighting as the metal-suited vigilante Caliburn. But when Johnny is found murdered and his suit stolen, his estranged childhood best friend reunite to solve the mystery of his murder. The Tin Can Society is a heartfelt and human look at the evolution of friendship across a lifetime, at disability and ableism, and the destructive power of fame. Wow.
Quite like the idea of that.
That's interesting. I like that cover, though.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
I do think that cover looks great. Yeah, I think there's 4 good comics there. So the vote will go up shortly after this show. You can place your votes, and then we will review the top 2 next week. It's at the end of the show. We can, before we do the pickups, you can, Afro SF, this is probably ideal for you. You can follow us over on Instagram. There's our Instagram there. You can follow me over at Geeky Guy Comics. Not going to say the other one because we don't do that anymore. Pete, YouTube royalty here, by the way, Afro SF. So
yeah, I'm over on Instagram and on YouTube at Triple G Comics, and I've also got another channel called One Good Scare Show, which is all horror related.
Nice. Andy?
I would borrow following me. I'm boring as fuck, to be honest. Tom?
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay. You can follow me. I'm on Not Quite Mint. I'm starting to do a little bit more posts at the moment, kind of what I'm interested in reading my collection as well. I'm kind of posting up a little bit. And if you want any fitness advice or any kind of tips on personal training, you can also follow me on my personal training page, which is Tom Mayman PT.
Nice. And then you can follow you can follow all of us on the Killer Comic Show over on Instagram. And then that's about it. We're always looking for new information and new stuff to share. So if you've got any ideas, drop us a DM. Now, this is the check out the content section. I've just realized this was left in and hasn't been updated, but these are the pre-recorded videos that we've got over. So Pete, these were your last escapades out with the gang, wasn't they?
Yes, so that was our trip over to Northern Ireland. So we did a one about the Comic Con and we did a one about comic hunting in Belfast.
Nice. They're very good videos if you haven't watched them already. And then I did one a couple of weeks ago, and it was the Wolverine 1/6 scale Hono Toys unboxing of that, and then it was the Ultimate Casey Jones. You can find that as well. And then last week it was the Slab Crusaders delivery that we kind of just went through and see what we picked up there. So if you like toys, you like comics, you like unboxings, head over to Triple G and also the Killer Comic Show, and you can see that. But that's not all. We also have a website. So we have a website which is www.thekillercomicshow.com. We show this week's covers. We also meet the hosts, and we've got killer comic reviews, which we have been debating, and I think we are all in agreement that it's just going to be killer reviews, and we're going to post reviews from the viewers, reviews about toys, collections, and stuff like that, and open it up to a whole load of other geeky content. So yes.
That's good.
But guys,
video game review.
Yes, go for it. Why not? It's open to everyone. So that is the end of the show. But we end the show always on a high with what we've been spending our hard-earned cash on. Well, earned cash, in my opinion. So who wants to go first? I've got nothing because I'm in Madrid, so I couldn't bring my pickups over. But Pete?
Yep, I've got some stuff. So I'm a big fan of Invincible. As you all know, I've got the omnibuses, the nice softbacks, but I've decided to pick up the 3 volumes of the hardcovers.
Nice.
I've got all 3 of them now. They smell lush.
How much did that set you back, Pete? Are they £100 each?
Yeah, but I got them for cheaper than that on eBay.
Wow.
I think I paid 200 for all 3 of them or something. And it's a complete story. So over the moon to get that. I've then got a load of nice EOKs. So my good friend Sexy Tom down there sent us a Transformers blank cover. Thank you so much for that, Tom. Means a lot. I'm going to take that thought bubble and get something sexy put on it. So do appreciate that, bud. Efren, a pal from San Diego, sent us Death's Head that I'd asked him to pick up.
That's cool.
It's good, but he also stuck in. I'd never seen this. This is a Frankenstein Ash Can issue number 1.
Oh wow!
Which I hadn't seen, so really like that. That's a particularly sexy book. And I'm not going to go through it all because there's a ridiculous amount of stuff here, Andy. But again, my good pal Andy sent us a whole stack of sexy stuff today,
cool.
which was really kind of you, Andy. You made us blub. So we've got a little beast statue there. We've got DVDs. We've got some cool. I collect my old annuals. Those and a whole pile of comic books, including the one I've been after for a while, which is I can't find it, which is the Transformers Energon free comic book day one. So that as well. So a whole host of very cool stuff. So Andy, thank you so much. Really do appreciate all that, and some Star Trek comics because I love Star Trek. So yeah, thank you. Appreciate that, bud.
You're welcome.
Thomas.
That's awesome. So I've got the book that I was going to show last week, which is my CGC.
Nice.
Show last week, which is the Superman DC Presents, which is the first appearance of He-Man and Skeletor in a comic book, and it's an 8, which I'm quite chuffed with.
Yeah.
But I got this from Hobgoblin's Hideaway, so cheers, Tim. Thank you very much for that. And then Tim was kind enough to send like a little stack load of. They're not in the best condition, and he hasn't charged me for them for free. But he sent me a load of like UK Transformer books. Which are just cool. He said he had a few hanging around, so he's never really knew what to do with them. So he sent me a few, which is epic. So they can all add to the collection. I mean, anyone that's got any of these, as long as they're in readable condition, I'll take them off your hands because I'd like to collect the whole lot so I can sit and read them to my nephew, which is kind of on my list of things I'd like to do. So I've got that, and then Andy reminded me that I got this bad boy in the post not long ago, which is the J. Scott Campbell Wild Siders issue 0, which I wanted to show off last week, but I forgot I'd got it. So there you go. That's me. Oh, actually, one thing that's not a pickup, I just wanted to show you. I went rummaging through my mum's loft, and I found my first ever Transformer comic that I had. Look at the state of this. Look at it's ripped, it's knackered, it's all like it's got tape and stuff on it.
Yeah, but
it's
that's
absolutely shagged.
Wicked. Have you read it again?
Yeah.
Down.
I haven't, no. But I mean, it's all the pages are in good nick, apart from like the last page, where I think is stapled together and put together with tape. But yeah,
Tom,
so it's my first ever comic I ever had.
Afro has said, I have the first 107 issues of Transformer UK.
Very cool.
Should maybe have a conversation if you're up for selling them. If you're not, I understand.
Yeah, cool. Andy, what have you got picked up? Nothing?
I've got loads of stuff here, but I can't show it.
Describe it to us.
Can you? If I phone you, I'll put you on the screen. You can show.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. It's too much effort.
Maybe Andy will put it up on his Instagram. Maybe.
Nah.
We'll bring it next week.
Yeah, he'll bring it next week. But yeah, so guys, that's another wicked show. Sorry for being late. Sorry for the mess up on the slides. I won't attend next week because I'm really shit. So I do apologise. Thank you, you three, for doing all the good stuff as you always do every single week. What have you got planned, Pete? Have you got any videos coming out?
I'm going to be going live tomorrow over on One Good Scare Show with James T. Hi, Rod. Nice to see you, bud. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a live show at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, all about horror. That's over, like I say, on One Good Scare Show. I've moved my regular live shows now to a Tuesday night. So every Tuesday, 9 o'clock, I'll be doing a live. And next week it is this is my interview show with Comic Deal. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be interesting. I'm not sure. I've heard of him. He's been around a while, I think. But yeah, so he'll be interesting. And then I've got, I think, it's my Riddler 1/6 scale figure, Jim Carrey Riddler, video out tomorrow.
Nice. So yeah, head over there. Pete's got a load of content always coming out. But yeah, it's been another good week, guys. I hope you've had fun. I hope everyone in the chat. Afro, thank you once again for joining. If you do want to know what we kind of do on the show, you can either watch the rewind or you can just reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to let you know. You can see us same time again next week, 9 o'clock, every single Thursday night. Have a great weekend and we shall see.
Are we skipping over the cover win because Peter's won?
Oh, I didn't.
How dare you?
Hold on. Who did it? Who put up the chat? Who set that up? Because I wasn't here.
I put it up earlier. I haven't stopped it yet though.
Okay. Who won?
Well, I haven't been able to stop it, but Peter's got 48% at the moment. Me and Andy are in second place with 20%, and then Charlie are at the bottom with 12.
Oh, that's a comfortable win. That's a comfortable win. I'll take that.
That's cool. Yeah, you can take that. I've ended it. I came last. Andy and Tom with 20%, and then Pete with 47%. So well done, Peter. Well done. Edvic, as said, was well worth waiting for. Thanks, fellas. Hope everyone has a nice weekend. Yes.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday. It's Batman Day. So me, Ed, and Dan are getting together for some comic and beers, I'm sure.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, so that should be fun. But guys, thanks for a great weekend. Andy, always great to see you, mate. It's been a pleasure. We won't bore you anymore. Have a great weekend. See you later.
See you.